Very good evening all of you. I hope students you all are fine and also your preparation is so okay. Make me sure, am I audible or visible? Am I audible and visible to everybody? Yes, student. How are you all? Okay, so as you know, we are actually doing here PYQ series in which we are dealing previous year questions, and specifically in this class and in this series I have been dealing the questions asked in the last year examination of CUET MA English exam. And probably this is the last class of this PYQ series of the questions solving year of 2024, right? As you already have watched, already have attended last lectures, last PYQ series, you have seen that I have dealt each and every question in very depth manner, okay, in thorough manner. I hope you all have gone through all those PYQs videos earlier. So let's, as you know, in CUET concept there are so many courses, there are so many faculties for different courses like MA English, MA History, MA Sociology, MA Political Science and also MA Geography. Apart from this, you have also UG programs for various subjects and also CHS and CT B.Ed program. So for your further query, you can contact to this official number. Let's know the other questions asked in the exam CUET 2024 MA entrance. First of all, student, please make me sure, am I audible and visible to everybody? There's no technical glitch, I suppose. Yes, all of you. Okay. So in today's class, the first question in your screen is, the first question on your screen is from Indian English Literature. This question has been asked in your exam. As you can see the screen, the major author in Indian English Literature like R.K. Narayan, V.S. Naipaul, Manohar Malgonkar and Jerry Pinto. In this question, you have to match the written text, the particular text with the authors. For example, the work Aim and the Big Home written by whom? A Bend in the Ganges, this is the work by which author? A House for Mr. Biswas, The Guide. So all these works are important, major works in Indian writing in English, and you have to match here. I hope student this is easy question for you because most of you know the answer. May I ask you what should be the correct answer here? Yes, what should be the correct answer? As you know, R.K. Narayan, one of the most important author from the trio group, okay, along with Mulk Raz Anand and Raja Rao, who has written so many wonderful novels and pieces of writing. You already know V.S. Naipaul, whose major work, representative work is A Bend in the Ganges, okay. V.S. Naipaul, you know, House for Mr. Viswas, very important author. Manohar Malgaonkar, who is prominently known for the work A Bend in the Ganges, and Jerry Pinto, who has written the work Aim and the Big Home. So I hope this is easy for all of you, right? This is easy for all of you. So what should be the answer? Very good evening to all of you. Very good evening. I hope you all are good. You all are doing great. So yes, tell me what should be the correct answer. Aim and Big Home is Jerry Pinto, A Bend in the Ganges, Manohar Malgaonkar, okay, and also A House for Mr. Viswas, V.S. Naipaul, The Guide, R.K. Narayan. So the right answer is it is 4. Right? Why you are not answering? Let's know the other question of today's session. The other question is from linguistic, and the question which has been asked, as you know student, linguistic hasn't been mentioned in your syllabus specifically, but in your exam, in CUET MA English exam, they ask few questions from linguistics. Even last year in 2024, they have asked question out of box. Few questions were really out of box. They weren't there in the syllabus. Basically, in your syllabus, they have mentioned history of English literature. Under the history of English literature, you have to read major authors, major writers, and major literary movements. Also, you have other portion of literature, that is Indian writing in English. And last year in 2024, they have asked question from other literature as well, from other English literature as well, like from world literature. So student, for that purpose, you should have knowledge. You need to know now about few prominent authors from world literature and their major texts. Because in the upcoming exam, that is CUET 2025, they can ask you question from those authors, from those popular authors in world literature, right? So this is the question from linguistics. Which of the following are the features of an idiolect? Okay, it's idiolect. You might have heard isoglass, idiolect, register, dialect, yes, language, and all these are linguistical terms generally used in the context of language. जैसे कि हिंदी में भी एक कहावत है कि बोली बदलती जाती है, ठीक है? तो we in linguistics we have so many terms, linguistical terms, and idiolect is one of them. Which of the following are the features of idiolect? In your option, the first option, it has mentioned it is particular form of language that is specific to a group of performers depending on their geographical location. It is a language variety that emanates from the type of language used by a particular social group of people. See, it emphasizes the speech traits that are habitual to an individual. And the last option is, this word is mainly used by linguists when discussing differences in speech from one person to another. Student, I want to know answers from your side. What do you think? Which one should be the characteristic feature of idiolect? What do you think? Which one of the following should be the right answer? Please let me know in the comment box. Yes, student, please be fast. Try to make this session live in literal sense, okay, not in technical sense. And it will happen when you will reply, when you will interact in comments, okay. That is how I can connect to you. So what should be the answer? What should be the answer? I'm waiting for your comment. Hashmi is saying it's 3. What about other student? Arpit, Jyoti, Dibya, Sandhya. What about you? What do you think? What should be the answer? So it is yes, correct answer. You replied correctly, Hashmi. It's 3 only. The option number 3rd is correct, C and D. Idiolect emphasizes the speech traits that are habitual to an individual, and also this particular word, as already I have mentioned, is mainly used by linguists when discussing differences in speech from one person to another person. As you know, for the from exams point of view, you need to know other terms. It can be asked to you, student: dialect, register, okay, isoglass, okay. There are so many terms, linguistical terms, which you need to know. You should know actually. I hope this question is clear to everybody. C and D is the correct answer. These are the features of idiolect. As you know, dialect is a variety of language spoken in one part of country or by people belonging to a particular social class. Always remember, dialect, which we commonly use this term, that we generally ask other person this question: what's your dialect? Okay, what's your dialect? Means dialect actually emphasizes a particular community, a particular language of a particular group, particular community of a country, okay, or particular group of a large community. Always remember, it is specific in nature. It belongs to a particular social class. Whereas register is the variety of language that defined according to its use in situations. Register depends upon circumstances, upon situations. Accordingly, with the situations, registers in linguistical context, it is used. I hope you all are getting me. Another terms in linguistical context, Pidgin and Creole. Student, I have brought these terms because these terms have already been asked in MA entrances. So, Pidgin is a language which develops as a contact language. When group of people speak different languages, come into the contact and communicate with each other. जब बहुत सारे ग्रुप के लोग एक साथ रहते हैं तो उनके कांटेक्ट में आने से जो लैंग्वेज, एक नया लैंग्वेज क्रिएट होता है, उसको कहते हैं पिडगिन. एंड क्रियोल इज अ पिडगिन लैंग्वेज विच हैज़ बिकम अ नेचुरल लैंग्वेज ऑफ अ ग्रुप ऑफ स्पीकर बीइंग यूज्ड फॉर ऑल और मेनी ऑफ देम on daily communicative needs. So that contact language which we earlier named Pidgin, when it is being used on regular basis, we call that particular language as Creole. I hope you all are getting this. If question will be there in CUET MA 2025 from Pidgin, Creole, register and dialect, I hope you won't miss that question. Is it clear to everybody? Student, did you get it? Let's move to other question of the session. Another question on screen is from comparative study of literature. As clearly it has been mentioned in your syllabus, you have to read comparative study, comparative literature. And many times if you will go and analyze the trend of the examination, many questions they are asking from the comparative literature. Okay, so a comparative study of literature is a technique by way of which two diverse work of literature are juxtaposed to ascertain the presence of similar or dissimilar literary elements. Literary contact between text can be classified as genetic or typological. Typological contacts stem from those interliterary similarities that are born thanks to the sameness or similarity of the types. It's a long question. Circumstances that may manifest in different parts of the world, giving rise to identical, ideological and other problems, which are then manifested in the literature of these places. From the following, select the text that bears typological similarity to Anna Karenina. Basically, the question initially talks about the comparative literature, what comparative literature means, okay, and then you have to just find out which particular text bears typological similarity to Anna Karenina. Let's know about Anna Karenina, one of the major work considered as the masterpiece written by Leo Tolstoy. The following, as you already have studied War and Peace, Mrs. Dalloway, God of Small Things and Madame Bovary, okay. First let's know about Leo Tolstoy, right? And as you know, the question is from Anna Karenina, like you have to find out in the following matches which one of the following is which particular text shows the typological similarity, right? Okay. So what do you think, which option should be there, student? Okay, Leo Tolstoy, you know one of the most important and major author from Russian literature, and he is regarded one of the greatest and most influential authors of all time. You must have read Leo Tolstoy's work, I am sure. He received nomination for the Nobel Prize in Literature every year from 1902 to 1906, and for the Nobel Peace Prize in the year 1901, 1902 and 1909. But he, I think, never got that. His notable works are the autobiographical trilogy, Childhood, Boyhood, Youth. Also you have Cossacks. In the autobiographical trilogy, which is very famous, you have 3 works written by him, written by Tolstoy: Childhood, Boyhood and Youth. Another important works and the representative work written by Tolstoy is Anna Karenina and War and Peace. And also you have heard about the war Resurrection and Cossacks. So student, please remember all these major works written by Leo Tolstoy, because next time they can ask question from other works, okay. And in this question, the correct answer is for Madame Bovary. The particular text of Anna Karenina and Madame Bovary, these both have the typological similarities. Okay, I think it's not needed to go in the detail and tell you about typological similarities. It's very easy. You must have the knowledge. Let's know about Virginia Woolf, who has written Mrs. Dalloway, and Mrs. Dalloway is really very important work written by Virginia Woolf, and many times in the exam they have asked question from Mrs. Dalloway. So student, I am suggesting you all to please read the summary, at least summary of Mrs. Dalloway. It will help you in your exam to recognize the protagonist, the hero, heroine and the consequences of the events happened in the novel. Okay, as you know, Virginia Woolf is prominently known for writing A Room of One's Own, and she is considered one of the most important modernist 20th century authors. She pioneered the use of stream of consciousness. Very important point. It has been asked in your exam earlier as well. Who has who belongs to the, like, you have 4 options in your question. You have 4 names in the question, 4 names of the authors, and you have to find out which of the following author belongs to the stream of consciousness, a kind of writing style, a kind of narrative device used in the writing. So remember, Virginia Woolf, who is prominently known for the writing A Room of One's Own and important works like Mrs. Dalloway, she has pioneered the stream of consciousness as a narrative device. And Mrs. Dalloway details a day in the life of Clarissa Dalloway, because they have asked the name of major characters as well. Clarissa Dalloway, a fictional upper class woman in post First World War in England. Another very important work written by Virginia Woolf are To the Lighthouse, Orlando, and a very important fact you can take from here that Mrs. Dalloway has the working title The Hour. It is very important, student. It has been asked in UGC NET exam for several times. Okay, To the Lighthouse, Orlando, and also you have A Room of One's Own. Very important. It is considered as, it is regarded as one of the most influential work in feminist writing, feminist criticism. As you know, in literary theories you have to study so many theories, starting from Russian formalism, liberal humanism, structuralism, post-structuralism, feminism, colonialism, post-colonialism, modernism, postmodernism, new historicism, reader response theory, eco-criticism, and if you will follow and analyze the trends of the examination, there's shift from literary theory to cultural studies. In the exams of English literature, now NTA is asking more questions inclined with cultural studies. Okay, so in the feminist criticism, feminist literary theory, in feminism, we will get to know about A Room of One's Own in detailed manner. For here, only you have to remember the important fact, because factual question will be there in your exam. Right? Let's move to the another author, Arundhati Roy. Everybody knows, one of the most important contemporary author of our time. All right. She is born in the year 1961, and she is known mainly she is known for her novel The God of Small Things. I know, student, you all have read this particular novel, The God of Small Things. It is really wonderful novel, and many times in the exam NTA has asked these questions. In your even CUET MA entrance, they have asked question from this particular novel, The God of Small Thing, which also won the Booker Prize for Fiction in the year 1997 and also became the best-selling book by a non-expatriate Indian author. So please read this novel as well for your exam. It is very important. Just know the major characters, the series of consequences, events, and why this particular novel written by Arundhati Roy is very famous. Alright, another very important writer you have is Gustave Flaubert, who was a French novelist born in the year 1821 and died in the year 1880. And his notable works are, you have Madame Bovary, which has similar typology with Anna Karenina, written by Leo Tolstoy. So student, there's a point you can take from here, that from comparative literature, as in your syllabus it has mentioned clearly you have to read comparative literature. But you not only have to read the basic things, you also have to see the major consequences of comparative literature, right? Because in this question they have asked you, as the question itself is stating very much informations, right? What is it, how it is connected, and how one particular text is showing the typological similarity with the another text. So I hope you are very clear about the answer. The option 4 is correct, written by a French novelist, Gustave Flaubert, whose notable works are Madame Bovary's Sentimental Education, The Temptation of Saint Anthony, and also Three Tales. Remember, these works are important. I hope is it clear to everybody? Are you getting? Let me read the comment. Okay, so yeah, well done, student. I am really very happy to see all these comments. Thank you all. Okay, let's move to the another question of today's session. And now you have to match the particular text from the author, as you have the Well of Loneliness, Mary Olivier Alive, The Garden Party and Another Stones, and Dubliners, and you have authors like Mary Sinclair, Catherine Mansfield, Radcliffe Hall, James Joyce. You have to match which author has written which particular book. I hope, student, it is easy question. Please, I want answers from your side. Which one of the following should be the right option for this question? Yes, and even few work I have taught, I'll taught in my paid course, right? So what do you think? Which one of the following should be the right option? As I can see the comment of Arpit, Jyoti, Vardha, Hashmi, Ritesh, Saurav. Where are remaining students? First of all, let's know about these authors. We will get to know, students are saying about second. What do you think? Let's know about these authors, because these authors are really important, and it might possible in next exam, in upcoming exam, they can ask question from these authors. Okay, let's know about May Sinclair. May Sinclair was the pseudonym, name of Mary Amelia St. Clair, who was born in the year 1863 and died in the year 1946. Clare was a popular British writer of modernist poetry and prose. She is attributed with first using the term stream of consciousness. As already I have discussed in Virginia Woolf, she can be considered as the pioneer of using the narrative device known as stream of consciousness, but the particular literary term stream of consciousness has been firstly used by Mary Sinclair, and Sinclair's best remembered major works are Mary Olivier Alive, The Life and Death of Harriet Frayne. So in your question, Mary Sinclair has written Mary Olivier Alive. So B, you can match the book B, like Mary Sinclair has written the work Mary Olivier. B2 first. Let's know about another writer as well, Catherine Mansfield. You all have heard. She was a New Zealand writer. As you can see, student, New Zealand writer or another literature from world has not been mentioned in your syllabus, but they are asking questions from other parts as well. Kathleen Mansfield is very famous name in New Zealand literature, and Kathleen Mansfield was a critic who was an important figure in modernist movement only. Her works are celebrated across the world and have been published in 25 languages. important works written by Catherine is The Garden Party 1922, which includes At the Bay, The Voice, The Stranger, and the classic of this work, that is Daughter of the Late Colonel. Okay, so as you can see, these works are really important. Even in UGC NET exam, they have asked question from The Garden Party. Remember, and if you are interested to read this particular work, please go and read at least the summary. Okay, it will help you in your upcoming exam. Another very important writer is Radcliffe Hall. He was also an English poet and author, and best known for the novel The Well of Loneliness, a groundbreaking work in lesbian literature. Very important person of literature these days. LGBTQ, lesbian literature, gay literature, like in your MA entrance, they are also following the trends of UGC NET. They are asking question from the emerging areas, okay, emerging areas of literary researches. Lesbian literature, gay literature, LGBTQ, all these are very recent emerging areas, emerging persons in literature, and Radcliffe Hall is one of the most famous name in that, whose important novel, best known novel is The Well of Loneliness. I hope the question is clear now. You can match the following books, following works to respective to the following authors. Is it clear? Let's move to the another important and yes, James Joyce, everybody know. She, I mean, he also used stream of consciousness as a narrative device, and he was born in Dublin, Ireland. Also, he studied modern languages. He was poet, novelist, and short stories writer in modern era, modern period. He is considered to be one of the most influential writer in modernist avant-garde of the early 20th century. I hope student you all know about avant-garde. It is a kind of literary movement there in the modern literature, modern period. Yes. He used the term stream of consciousness and epiphany. Very important. Epiphany has been asked in assistant professor's exam. It can be asked to you as well. Who has used the term epiphany? Remember, it is James Joyce who has used the term epiphany and also stream of consciousness. Right? So, I hope that question is clear. Let's know about stream of consciousness and epiphany because it is important. It could be asked to you in next exam as well. So, stream of consciousness is also known as interior monologue. See, I have brought these depth analysis and explanations because not only a right option can help you, but there are another options as well in the question from which also you can expect questions in upcoming exam, right? So all those options, if you read in depth manner, you read thoroughly, those options will also help you to score more in your exam, right? So, stream of consciousness, as you know, it is very famous narrative device. It is also known as interior monologue. This term was coined by William James in the work The Principle of Psychology. This could be asked to you. It is fictional narrative that depicts the multitudinous thoughts and feelings that pass through mind. It is related to your psyche, mind. Okay, that is why the term consciousness is there, stream of consciousness. In stream of consciousness, the speaker's thought processes are more often depicted as overheard in mind or addresses to oneself. Psychological thoughts, psychological consequences of the thoughts are really important in using the device, narrative device, stream of consciousness. I hope you all are clear. Epiphany, another important work used, another important word used by James Joyce. Epiphany is a kind of an experience of sudden and striking realization. It means feelings. It is a sudden, like striking realization, striking feelings. For example, in daily, in our practical life, we can see that sometimes we feel amazed instantly. Sometimes there's a normal news and we react more, right? We react unusually. So epiphany is that kind of narrative device. This term is generally used to describe a scientific breakthrough, religious or philosophical discoveries. Remember, epiphany has been used by James Joyce. Let's know about important works, major works written by James Joyce. You have the Holy Office, Chamber Music, Dubliners, very important, which is also there in your option. And Dubliners is a collection of 15 short stories by James Joyce, very important. It has also been asked in the exam. James Joyce is a collection of 15 short stories, and very important work which you all have read, probably, A Portrait of an Artist as a Young Man. It is the first novel written by Joyce, and it is also called a psychological novel of joy. As you know, obviously Joyce has used stream of consciousness, a kind of psychological narrative device. So obviously the first novel he has used psychologically, he has portrayed the sequences, plots and events in the story. Exiles, which is a play there in the year 1918. Finnegan's Wake is also very important work written by Joyce, and it is considered as the most comprehensible novel, as Harold called it a masterpiece of Joyce. So remember, all these works are important. It can be asked to you. I hope I am making sense to you all. You all are getting me. Do you have any question regarding Joyce or any other writers which I have been dealing? If you have any questions, students, feel free to ask, okay? All right, so yes. Let's know about the another important work, another important question asked in 2024, the picaresque novel, very important genre of the novel, as you all have read, picaresque novel, gothic novel, romantic novel, horror novel. Yes, so picaresque novel is one of the part. Let's know about picaresque, we will get to know. All right. So the picaresque novel is characterized by the adventures and travels of a roguish but appealing character. This is one of the feature of being picaresque novel. Picaresque, okay? Picard plus esque, right? It is showing the adventure, roguish character in the story. And which of the following text can be cited as an example of picaresque form? The Adventure of Huckleberry Finn, Vanity Fair, Don Quixote and Moll Flanders. Which one of the following can be cited as an example of picaresque novel? It is again very easy question. Let's know about these authors first. About these works first. Who has written? As you know, Don Quixote, a Spanish novel written by Miguel de Cervantes, published in two parts in the year 1605 and 1615. The Adventure of Huckleberry Finn, written by Mark Twain and published in 1885, and it is considered as the particular work Huckleberry Finn is considered as one of the greatest novel in the great, it is considered as a great American novel in American literature. The Pickwick Papers, you already know, is written by Charles Dickens, who is one of the representative authors of Victorian period. I hope student you all are aware with the ages, with the periods, literary periods of English literature. when we say English literature, we are specifically talking about British literature. But to study British literature only is not sufficient for your exam. You have to read Indian English literature, you have to read American literature, Australian literature, African literature, Caribbean literature, and most importantly, important authors and important works from world literature, right? So the Pickwick Papers, you know, as I was saying about the literary periods of British literature, starting from Old English period, Anglo-Saxon period, how there were three tribes, Anglo-Saxons and Jutes, and how the development of English language occurs with the passage of time, from Old English period to Middle English period, from Modern English period, then age of Chaucer, then you have Elizabethan age, Jacobean age, the Caroline age, the Commonwealth age, then you have Restoration, you have age of Dryden, you have age of Augustine, age of Pope, which is importantly and popularly known as the classical age, then you have Romantic age, right, Victorian age, Modernist age, Postmodernist age. So all these are ages, and in these ages you have to read important authors, important text written by them, and also important literary movements. I hope you all are getting it. So the Pickwick Papers, written by Charles Dickens between 1836 to 1837. It is very important novel. This is considered as an example of mature realistic novel that incorporates the element of picaresque novel, picaresque style. And Dead Soul, written by 𝐂𝐔𝐄𝐓 between 1842 to 1852. This novel is considered as an example of mature realistic novel that incorporates picaresque element. Now you can find out from the question which are these particular works, these particular novels belong to the category of picaresque novel. As you know, Confessions of Felix Carrel, written by Thomas Mann in the year 1954. This novel is also example of a mature realistic novel and considered as one of the important picaresque novel. Another is Candide, written by Voltaire. Tom Jones, written by Henry Fielding, very important. More than 50 times they have asked question from Tom Jones. Please read the summary of Tom Jones, and every time in the exam they ask this question, right? Moll Flanders, you know, it is also a picaresque novel. It is an example of picaresque novel written by Daniel Defoe. Another important work, Simplicius Simplicissimus, written by Hans Jacob. It is also considered as the picaresque novel. I hope you all are clear about the question. Another important question on your screen is from chronological best questions. Identify the correct chronological order of the following theoretical movements. Now you have literary theory. Literary theory is really very easy to understand, student. You have to chronologically arrange these literary theories in order. In first option you have structuralism, new criticism, post-colonialism and feminist criticism. Now you have to analyze which literary theory came first. Yes, I know it is also very easy question. Please let me know in the comment which should be the correct answer. Which literary theory came first? Which one of the following theory is the oldest theories in following school of theories like structuralism, new criticism, post-colonialism and feminist criticism? Yes, student, it is again easy. So, as you know, new criticism came first? As already you know, you might have heard the name I.A. Richard, F.R. Lewis, the Great Tradition, right? Another important writer like T.S. Eliot from modernist poetry. New criticism came first, then you have structuralism, then you have feminist criticism, and then lastly you have post-colonialism. The option third is correct. Firstly, new criticism came into fashion. As you know, let's know about these theories separately, because these theories are really important, and every time in the exam they ask question from these theories. Structuralism, you know, very influential theory, one of the most influential critical modes of critical and cultural analysis of the 20th century. Structuralism mainly emphasis on the language or formal properties of the text, their structures, and also frames in specific genre like novel or poetry. Structuralism mainly talks about the structure. And in structuralism, in the theory of structuralism, you know that important theorists, and the most important theorist from structuralism is Ferdinand de Saussure, who has given many concepts like Lang and parole, you have Lang and language, you have synchrony and diachrony, you have the concept of syntagmatic and diagmatic, okay. These concepts have already been asked in your exam. So very simple thing related to structuralism you have to remember. It talks about the structure of the text. Previously, formalists and theorists who are associated with formalism, they have tried to analyze the form of the text, right? Structuralism looks at the relationship between the various elements with the self-contained, well-organized structure of a text. And in order to understand the ways the grammar rules by which text produces meaning. New criticism, you have, as you know, the term new criticism taken from the same work written by the author John Crowe Ransom. This question has been asked in your exam for so many times. Who has coined the term new criticism? The theorist's name is John Crowe Ransom, who has coined the term new criticism in the same titled book, New Criticism, in the year 1941, and new criticism associated mainly with the work of Clint Brooke, Robert Payne Warren, William Wimstad, and Mondlane Botsley. You might have heard affective fallacy and intentional fallacy. These two words coined by these two theorists, Wimstad and Botsley. And another influential author from New Criticism is I.A. Richard, set out to develop a science of literary criticism and literary text. They argue that author's intention behind a work is far less important than the meaning generated by the author. And that is why in post-structuralism, and you might have heard the title, The Death of the Author. According to these theorists, the words, sentences, structure, form on the paper, like their literary structure matters for them. Not like it doesn't matter who has written this. Author doesn't matter, the work matters. New critics generally argue that author's intention behind a work is far less important than the meaning generated by that particular language and style and formal features of the text. Meaning is important, not the author is important. This was the purpose, this was the main implication of writing New Critics, okay. They have written like Clint Brooks, Robert Payne Warren. If you will go through their essays, you will analyze important works in New Criticism. You have The Intentional Fallacy by Wimsatt and Botsley. You have 7 Types of Ambiguity by William Ampson. These words are really very important for your exam student. You can score more than 10 marks from theories only, because many times they ask question, 10 and 15, like 20 marks you can expect from literary theories only, literary theory, literary criticism and cultural studies. So these works are really important in new criticism. Another important works like The Whale Wrought On by Clint Brooke came in the year 1947. You have Practical Criticism and Principle of Literary Criticism. Structuralism, as you know, originated in France, and Roman Jakobson first used the term structuralism. Structuralism, as already I have stated, is the study of structure, and major figures associated with the theory of structuralism are Ferdinand de Saussure, Lévi-Strauss, Rona Barthes, okay, Jonathan Keller. These authors are really important in structuralism. Many times they ask question from these theorists as well. Like they can ask you which one of the following theorists is associated with a structuralist school of theory. Structuralism, okay, which one of the following author or writer or theorist is associated with feminist criticism. So for that purpose you need to know their works, their names, and also their important contribution in making theories, literary theories. Ferdinand de Saussure, as already I have stated, is one of the most important personality in literary theory, and he was Swiss linguist and semantician. He was also regarded as the father of modern linguists. He has written very important book regarded as the course in general linguistics. It is considered as the seminal work which was published posthumously in 1916 by former student Charles Bailey and Albert CHS. These two names, the names of his students, you have to remember, because it was a series of the lectures, course in general linguistics. He has given 4 major theories in the structuralism. You have sign and signifier, the concept of sign and signifier, very important. As already I have mentioned, the concept of sign and signifier, the concept of langue and parole, the concept of synchrony and diachrony, the concept of syntagmatic and paradigmatic. All these concepts propounded by Ferdinand de Saussure in structuralism are important. As you know, sign and signifier, that the physical existence is known as signifier, and the mental concept, if when you are looking at the image and you are perceiving that particular image in that way, that is regarded as the mental image. That is actually a signified. For example, sound, word, image, when we see, we hear, that is considered as the signifier, because that exists, their physical existence, we know about that. And signified is the like fruit, apple. According to Ferdinand de Saussure, in the words of Saussure, signifier is more important than signified, because signifier doesn't change but signified keep changing. Very important point, very important fact you can take here from here in your notebook. He has talked about langue and parole as well. As you know, langue is the system of the rules that makes it possible for a person to know how to speak. Okay, it is a set of rules. Langue is regarded as the set of rules, while parole is an individual's performance, individual's expressions, the way a particular person express, the way a particular person presents presents his or her thought, right? This is known as parole. So langue and parole is clear. I hope you all are getting this. Now you have another concepts given by Ferdinand de Saussure is syntagmatic and paradigmatic. Yes, Hashmi, very soon we will cover this in our paid batch as well. Yes, Saurav, please ask, go ahead, ask your question. Syntagmatic, you know, is a particular sequence or order. Paradigmatic is a similar words or belong to same class. It is interchangeable. As you know, interchangeable is paradigmatic, and syntagmatic is a particular horizontal sequences. Paradigmatic is vertical sequences. All these you have to study in literary theory. You have diachrony and synchrony. Okay, chrony comes from chronos, stand for the time. Diachrony means language historically. When we study about the development of language with the passage of time, historical development of language and records the change that have taken place in it between successive point in time, that is known as diachrony. And synchrony is the study of the present language in a given time and describe it as it exists. Synchronic study is more important than diachronic study. What Ferdinand de Saussure made this statement. So I hope student this particular question related to literary theory is clear to everybody. Another question on your screen is, which Mahesh Dattani play published in the year 1990 deals with the themes of gender and disability? Mahesh Dattani, you know, very important writer, very important Indian English playwright, and his works are Tara, Night Queen, Where There's a Will, Bravely Fought the Queen. Mahesh Dattani, you know, is very famous Indian playwright and author born in Bangalore. He is the first English playwright who is awarded with the Sahitya Akademi Award, and his important plays are Mango Shuffle, Morning Raja, Dance Like a Man, very important play by Dattani, Ek Alag Mausam. Another important works he has written, his famous plays are Final Solutions, and for Final Solutions he got the Sahitya Akademi Award, right? This play is there in 3 acts and first performed in the year 1993. Another important play by Dattani is Where There's a Will. It deals with the money as a central theme of the play. Another very important play written by him is Bravely Fought the Queen. On a muggy night in Mumbai, Tara, 30 days in September, the murder that never was. So from this explanation, I hope you are able to solve that question. The last question of the day of this session of PYQ series of 2024 CUET MA English exam is, what is the common characteristic among the following text? Pamela, The Color Purple, Dracula and Humphrey Clinker. I hope student you all know these because these are masterpieces in literature. Pamela, The Color Purple, Dracula and Humphrey Clinker. What do you think, which one should be the correct answer? Yes? The last question on your screen is, as you they all are examples of Gothic literature. They all are published in the same period. All of them have female protagonists. They are all written in the epistolary mode. What should be the correct answer? So I hope you enjoyed this session today, student. In all those questions which have already been asked in 2024 exam last year, I have tried my best to solve in detailed manner with depth analysis and explanations. All these explanations, all these depth analysis of the question, options and related to that will certainly help you in your exam. In the next class, next time I'll try to analyze another PYQs, I'll take previous year questions of another year, and I'll try to critically analyze those questions in the same manner. So I am requesting and suggesting all of you to please watch all these PYQ series, all these PYQs lectures, all these important questions and options with detailed explanations are really important. You can expect more than 30 marks from these series only in your upcoming exam. Okay, I hope student you don't have any confusion. If you have any doubt, any question regarding the class, the session, you can ask me. Otherwise, I am ending this session now, and certainly we will meet in next class. All the very best, all of you. Keep preparing well. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much all. Thank you all. Thank you very much.